What's up YouTube, and welcome to the first ever top 5 video on the J&J's channel. For this list, I will look at the top 5 NHL teams that are most likely to relocate to Houston. Why am I doing this video? Well, this has always been a passion project of mine. I am a native Houstonian, and I am fascinated with the idea that one day we can bring an NHL team to the city of Houston. I think Houston will get a hockey team for 2 reasons. 1, the city is interested, and 2, the NHL is interested. Shortly after Tillman Fertitta bought the Rockets last year, he stated in a press conference that he is very interested in the possibility of bringing an NHL team to Houston, and even met with Commissioner Gary Bettman to discuss such a possibility. I think the league will be interested as well, for Houston is the 4th largest city in America population-wise, and has the 5th biggest TV market behind only New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, and the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area. I think it's only a matter of time now before Houston receives an NHL franchise. Now, expansion is an option, but with Seattle now being the favorite to win the next NHL expansion team for the 2020-2021 season, it may be a while before the NHL would consider bringing a 33rd or 34th team. So the most likely scenario for Houston receiving a hockey team would be via relocation. And now, without any further ado, here are my top 5 NHL teams that could relocate to Houston. Number 5, the Carolina Hurricanes. The Hurricanes were sold in 2017 to Texas millionaire Thomas Duden, so it only makes sense that Duden would want to bring this team back to his home state, considering the Hurricanes dwell in the bottom of the league in attendance year after year, right? Well, not exactly. Even though the Hurricanes finished with the 3rd worst attendance last year in the NHL per the ESPN NHL attendance chart, the team could not move yet. With the sale of the team, the Carolina Hurricanes must play in Raleigh for 5 more seasons per NHL rules. That was part of the clause when Duden bought the team, that he would keep the franchise in North Carolina. Now, after those 5 years are up, he has all the rights to move to whatever city he so chooses. But by that time, Houston might have already gotten an NHL team, and that's why the Hurricanes are only number 5 on this list. Number 4, the Florida Panthers. The Panthers, I feel, would be the beneficiary of a relocation for a multitude of reasons, with the most prominent reason being attendance. Now, this will be a common theme with the next couple teams on this list, as if you don't draw fans, you don't make money, and the NHL is all about making money. Now, attendance has gone up at the BB&T Center where they currently play from last season, but they still ranked 28th in attendance last year, the 4th worst in the NHL. This isn't a result of the team's performance, however, for the team made the playoffs just 2 years ago. Instead of the team's performance, I think the market they play in has everything to do for why they're not drawing fans. Now, I know what you're going to say. The Lightning play in Florida as well and rank in the top 10 attendance in the NHL, so Florida can be a hockey market. Now to that, I say yes. Tampa is a good market, but Tampa has also been a much better team recently than Miami, and Miami historically has been a bad sports town. Now yes, the Dolphins do draw well in attendance, but the other teams do not draw well in Miami. Just look at the poor Marlins. The Marlins are averaging less than 10,000 fans per game. Now, that has a lot to do with new ownership, but that is a totally other video for another day, and I would love to make a video on why the Marlins don't draw any fans. Stay tuned. But also, the Miami Heat have fluctuating attendance as well. When the Heat were bad, they drew very poorly, and it wasn't until Dwayne Wade and LeBron James came to town that the Heat became a hot commodity in the Miami area. And we all know what happened with those fans in the finals when they were down. But overall, I think the Panthers would be a great beneficiary of a relocation. And hey, if they move to Houston, you could keep them the same name. Have the Panthers, have the Cougars. Why not have both? At number 3, we have the Ottawa Senators. And man, what a mess this franchise is. The Senators play an arena that is not easily accessible to most of the residents of Ottawa, and there is a distinct disdain for their current owner, Eugene Melnyk. He has gone on the record and said that if it doesn't look good here, it could look nice somewhere else. I could see this franchise moving if a new downtown arena deal cannot be reached within the city of Ottawa, but I see them relocating to a place like Quebec City before I see them moving to Houston. Also, I see them moving to Quebec City over Houston because I don't think the NHL wants to move any teams out of Canada unless they absolutely have to. Quebec City would make a lot more sense because it is on the eastern side of the country, and they already have a NHL-ready arena. Plus, I think the fans in Quebec City would love to have their Nordiques back. But like I said before, this team could move to Houston, but I don't think the NHL wants to move any teams out of Canada unless they absolutely, positively have to. Up next at number 2 is the Calgary Flames. Now, I know I just said the NHL doesn't want to move any teams out of Canada unless there is no other options, but in this instance, there may not be any other options. There's an ongoing standoff and dispute over a new downtown arena in the city of Calgary between the owners and the mayor that has reached a point of no return. Flames ownership has indicated that the time for negotiation is over and that the Flames will no longer pursue a new arena in Calgary. Even the commissioner sounds dismal in regards to the future of hockey in Calgary. Commissioner Gary Bettman said, "As everybody knows, the club has stopped the pursuit of a new arena because they think it's futile. Although one of Canada's best teams would be lost, a frustrated ownership group bailing out of Calgary would swing the door wide open for hockey to come to Houston." Unlike the rest of the teams on this list, the Flames rank number 8 in overall attendance in the NHL and have one of the biggest fan bases in Canada. But alas, this is still a business, and if business is not working in Calgary, Houston may be the next best option. Of all the teams on this list, the Flames have the best record, and in my opinion, I would want to have this team above any other teams on this list. But the reason I can't put them number 1 is that if the NHL does come to Houston, I think Tillman Fertitta wants to buy a franchise and own it rather than have a team pay rent in his Toyota Center. I do think the Flames would be the second best option on this list though, because they do play in the Western Conference and the NHL would not have to realign any of the conferences if the Calgary Flames move to Houston. Also, if the Flames move to Houston, they should keep their name. As cool as the Houston Aeros name is, I think the Houston Flames would catch on, and it fits our hot and humid weather here in Houston. And finally, the number 1 option for the NHL team most likely to move to Houston is the Arizona Coyotes. Without a doubt, the Coyotes are the number 1 team that is likely to move for a multitude of reasons. The first reason is the club has the least value according to Forbes in the NHL and consistently ranks at or near the bottom in annual attendance in the NHL. Last year, they ranked second to last only because the New York Islanders play in a crappy arena, but they fixed that problem. They're going to get a new arena in New York City, so their attendance will spike when they get that new arena. To put it bluntly, the Coyotes have been a failure since they moved from Winnipeg to Phoenix. The team's operating income has been in decline to the point where the team lost $19 million last year, according to Forbes, a spiral from the previous year's loss of $8 million. Finances aside, I do believe this team will move to Houston for one reason. They are for sale and their arena sucks. They want to get out of Gila River Arena in Glendale, Arizona, and move the team to Phoenix, but have been unsuccessful. Even Arizona State did not want them playing in their basketball arena and having them pay rent. So the Coyotes are pretty unwanted in their own city. If the Coyotes continue to have difficulty getting a new arena in Arizona or filling whatever building they inhabit, the club would be primed to move to Houston. Also, as previously mentioned earlier about the Calgary Flames being in the Western Conference being a seamless transition to move to Houston, I do believe this bodes well for the Coyotes as well. The all-but official expansion team in Seattle would hypothetically occupy a spot in the Pacific Division, while the relocated Calgary or Arizona team could move from the Pacific Division to the Central Division, so there would be 8 teams in each division. Not only would this balance the divisions, but it would also create a natural rivalry between Houston and the Dallas Stars, and I think the city of Houston would love another rivalry with Dallas. So there you have it. Those are my top 5 NHL teams that are most likely to relocate to Houston. And I hope we do get a team one day. I think earliest we could get a team is for next year, the 2019-2020 season, if Tillman Fertitta buys the Coyotes. I think the NHL could work in Houston. I think we have a large enough fan base, and I think especially if we get a winning franchise, we could definitely establish a great fan base and bring hockey back to the great city of Houston. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I would love to do more of these top 5 countdown videos for you guys. Until then, guys, thank you for watching this video and have a great day.